As the founder and the owner of Ball and Dodd Funeral Home in Spokane, Washington, my father was in charge of moving all of the Indian graves to higher ground when the Grand Coulee Dam was built. The stories of the people and the sadness and the ongoing challenges affecting their way of life greatly affected me. I wrote this poem as a tribute to the native people of this region. Please see my blog post about the film Echoes of Yesterday. It's under Lon Gibby Productions, which documents my father's project, The Ceremony of Tears. The Grand Coulee Dam would have no fish ladder to climb, no way for the salmon to get up the line. For many generations, the Indians had fished the river there, thousands of salmon running year after year. The salmon would swim up the Columbia River to spawn, where the Indian people fished from dusk to dawn. The white men didn't understand or care about the Indian way, how much the fish helped them from day to day. The spawning salmon and the food that they gave were meals for their families they could store and save. The fish would swim to a place that was called Kettle Falls. Many tribes would come there when the season would call. A salmon chief was chosen. Out of respect, he would take care of the problems and lead and direct. The young men would climb out over the falls and catch the jumping salmon in basket stalls. They'd fish with spears and nets too, any way they could catch the salmon and subdue. The men would then pass the salmon to the shore, where women and children prepared them and more. The women placed the salmon on sticks around the fire and some to dry, sun-dry, and to store them for the future, such an important supply. The days were long with excitement and strife. Oh, how they would miss their old way of life. There were the Cheyennes, the Colville, the Nez Pelhams, and the San Poils, the Lakes, the Palouse, the Wenatchees, laboring in their toil. The Methnow, the Okanagan, Chief Joseph's band, they all shared in the fishing and gave a helping hand. The Kalispel and the Kootenai fished there too, and the Bloods came down from Canada. There were just a few. The Spokane tribe and the Coeur d'Alenes came. The quest to catch the returning salmon was always the same. They named the huge lake that covered the land Lake Roosevelt for the United States president who had taken a stand. From the Grand Coulee Dam to the Canadian border, it was 140 miles of lake to get into order. The dam would provide energy and irrigation for a lot of dry earth, yet cover towns where people had lived since the time of their birth. The beautiful history and culture of the people covered forever could not be saved with another endeavor. The changing world and the modern progress were here to stay, and so the people gathered to grieve and remember this final day. They travel from many places, covering hundreds of miles, to say a final farewell to their fishing grounds, known as Kettle Falls. The gathering of the people with their memories, questions, and fears would forever be known as the Ceremony of Tears. Thanks for watching. suncrowflutes.com